Okay. Looking good. Game capturing well. I can hear my voice. Alright, so I think we're all set. Let's get show on the road. It's almost night. Awesome. Yellow Rays, the Gamer 27, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft: The Hardcore Survival Challenge in Minecraft Xbox One edition of Minecraft. Originally recorded on July 12th, just for reference here, because since I know this won't be coming out for a long time, YouTube-wise, we're going to be talking Spider-Man Far From Home spoilers and review. But we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm kind of thinking I'll try to settle that more for when I actually do the fishing, because I think that's kind of what I'm going to do. When I got stuff to like kind of like talk about or whatever, then, you know, instead of just me just like droning on or whatever, then I think that's what we'll do. But for right now, since it's night, let's see if we can actually just say if we can find another zombie villager. We'll just kind of slowly make my rounds. And then if we hit nothing, then we hit nothing. I won't really feel too bad. Oh, where are you? Whoa. Whoa, what? Hello. Wow, that was fast. Hey, guys. I really don't need more clerics. But I'll take the double because I'd be stupid not to. Hey, sorry guys. No offense, but I just gotta do it so I can breed, and you guys are not helping me. Just so you guys know that. Okie dokie. Well, this is fast. Did not expect to get that to happen so quickly. I'm trying to see if I can get one of them away faster than the other one, and I'll just come. Yeah, sweet. Okay. Because I want both of them, but I can only kind of do one at a time. Hopefully he doesn't go in, and if he does, then it's whatever. It's clerics, you know. What do I care? Yeah, I know. Also, I don't have enough potions. Well, I mean, I do, but because I can hit them both. But again, the proverbial one at a time. Hello. Alright, I would prefer if you step in this one, please, if you would be so kind. Dude. You can do this. Come get me, come on. Whoop. Thank you. Whatever. Alright, well, let's go get the other guy. That's crazy luck. So I keep going from there. It's like, oh, you don't get nothing. He gone, isn't he? Yeah, he gone. Yeah, he gone? He gone. Alright, well, like I said, you know, it's clerics, you know, whatever. Okay, well, let's, kill this guy then, if he's still here. I think he should be. I didn't go far. Oh. No, he gone too. Oh well. I should have just taken my chances while I had it, or at least made him pick up something, but... oh well, like I said, it's... You know, it's... Priest, you know, it's like, it's not like it was crucially important. I got 3 of them, literally. You know, so... You know, some good, some bad, you know, it doesn't really matter. Okay, you guys just like splintering off, that was creepy. It's like they were like compressed or something. Oh, you're a speedy little guy. I don't like that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I could always use the gunpowder. Gunpowder is good for like the potions and fireworks, which I really don't need. Okay, still. Super weird. Oh my gosh. 2, like, healing potions? Or, healing, like, spiders? Or, yeah, potioned up spiders? That's weird. Alright. Looks like we got some other stuff over here. Yeah, it's alright. You know, like I said, it was the... You know, it's really early on, you know, it's fine. Plus, I would kind of feel bad because I think at this rate, you know, the more villagers I have, the more like they'll kill each other. You know, I got 7 of them, and it's really until one of them basically ceases being useful. It's just, you know, that's it, really. Yeah, everybody's still serving a purpose right now, and that's really the reason why they're still around, so. Alright. So it looks like it's nothing over here. Bunny, bunny, bunny. Which way did you go, George? Which way did you go? Shit, I could pet the rabbits, George. I love the rabbits, George. Why don't you let me pet the rabbits, George? Alright. I'm trying to remember, because I know it said there was a reason why spiders do get those random potion effects. I can't remember why. Oh, you are a witch. And I'll take a hard pass on that. Yeah, I'm gonna hard pass on all of this, if you don't mind. Because I really don't want to deal with any of this stuff. And it looks like it's gonna be a bust. Well, it's not really a bust. I totally succeeded, and I could have easily captured 2 of them, but it was priest ones. If it was like what I did before, where it was 2 librarians, I easily would have just like, I'm like, okay, well, 2 out of the 2, one's better than nothing, so you know, cut my losses there. But you know, whatever. I got one of them. I just didn't give him something to hold to keep him custom, so that was a rookie mistake. But again, you know, it's all good. It's all good. I got 3 of them, so. Okay. Kind of just want to avoid everything. Real quick, let's see if I can find a pseudo safe place. I did do this outside of it. I was fishing, and I gave Sword of the Spirit Unbreaking 3, which was at the bottom. So it's now that. It's nice because even though it doesn't need the Unbreaking... Oh, he was a zombie. Although it doesn't need the Unbreaking, it does make it so the sword gets its mending back faster. Oops. Alright, literally last second. I didn't have enough time to get out of the menu. Well played, Mr. Creeper. Well played. Also, that could have really hurt, because that arrow... Let's see. Yep, that would have hurt. So let's just try to block all this stuff in. That's why you have all this dirt here. And that should be fine. Okay, and we'll get the rest of this stuff out. There we are. Okay, well, we're out. Gave it a good old college try, you know what I'm saying? Alright, anyway, so once again, when I get back to the house, we'll talk some Spider-Man. I suppose I was going to say this kind of real quick. So, again, keep in mind for now, for anybody who hasn't seen the Homecoming one, I gave Tom Holland a shot. And pretty much immediately, my biggest problem I had with Tom Holland as Spider-Man is I think they kind of blurred the lines of Deadpool and Spider-Man. And for the most part, you know, like Ryan Reynolds pretty much nails Deadpool, you know, kind of like their sarcastic, you know, witty kind of guy, whatever. Now, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he's supposed to be a guy who's like really, you know, quick wit. You know, he's like, you know, really there with the jokes and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I was expecting. And you'll also hear a lot of this, is me personally, I think out of all current on-screen Spider-Mans, oh my gosh, don't look at me like that. Best Spider-Man, at least like on-screen movie-wise, is like of the three between Maguire, Garfield, and Holland. Easy, hands down. Tobey Maguire, like, nails the performance to this day. And I'm gonna have to put that there because apparently zombies can't get over blocks. The Sam Raimi trilogy is for Spider-Man is wonderful, like beyond like the other ones, like the Amazing Spider-Mans with Andrew Garfield we don't speak of. And then of course when it comes to Homecoming. So then now with Homecoming, now you have Tom Holland, you know, he's trying, you know, to like kind of like just see what it does. You already see him in Civil War. Civil War was his first like on-screen appearance, which wasn't too bad, but thankfully he didn't have him like in for the movie much of it, so you didn't really get like a good solid enough impression to see what he was like, which was a pretty wise idea. So for the most part, I liked it. How he looked. For the most part, you know, Tom Holland actually kind of like looked like the part for that, you know, young. Again, pretty much like could easily pass as like, you know, the high school that they kind of needed. Maguire, like definitely Tobey Maguire, even though I'm pretty sure he was. Gosh, I don't know how old he was when he did it. But no, he did a really good job looking like it. Andrew Garfield also kind of did a really good job looking at it. Probably the least likely of it because I know, obviously, let's see, I'm not sure about Garfield. But anyway, it's the all three of them kind of like looked it, but just some just did it better than others. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all this salmon. But now really it was just, this is the only big thing that I had, this is where I'm getting with Tom Holland's performance, is at least in the Homecoming movie, the one glaring problem is he could not shut up. The guy had a motor mouth that was going like a mile a minute. Which, you know, and again, I see that they were trying to go for, you know, kind of like the, you know, quick-witted, you know, stuff like that. But it just, that's not what it is. And that's kind of why I liked how, you know, all the characters were in the original Sam Raimi trilogy. You know, all of them kind of like looked the part, felt the part, all the villains were good, you know, everything was that good, solid, okay. So, you know, Homecoming wasn't that bad. You know, I liked it better than, you know, The Amazing Spider-Man, obviously. But, you know, still not my favorite. So now we get into the Far From Home. So, hang on. Just making sure we're in this part of the stream here. We are talking Spider-Man Far From Home spoilers, just so everybody knows that. Spoilers. Spoilers. Because I can kind of do that live stream-wise, because when I put this out on YouTube, it'll be like months in advance, so I think it'll be okay. The DVD will probably be out by the time this even thing comes out. Okay, anyway, so moving on. So now we get from Far From Home. And so the whole point is with Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. First off, let me be the first to say, Jake Gyllenhaal did a wonderful job as Mysterio. I knew, obviously, you know, there was no way that, you know, he's, you know, the hero persona or whatever that he was playing on. It's like, Mysterio's a villain, you know, pure and simple. And then the direction that they took Mysterio was I wasn't a fan of, let's just say. So for those who don't know, and again, this is spoilers, I'm getting into spoiler territory here, so please get off the stream if you don't want to hear Spider-Man Far From Home spoilers. Get off the video when this comes out on YouTube. Get off the video if you guys don't want to hear that either. So I'm saying that as much as I can throughout this stream, and so everybody knows this, okay? So Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio is not actually... Oh, what's this? He has no actual powers. It's all illusion technology. So, yeah, he's... As Tom Holland, Spider-Man, actually puts it, he's just a dude. So... And he's crazy. So... And he's an ex-Stark employee along with everybody else, either post-snap or before snap, you know. I don't know if any of them came back from the quote-unquote blip, as they're calling it. Not sure. It doesn't sound like they were. I think they were all just ex-Stark employees. Anyway, so then the whole point of it is, you know, so Tony gives, from post-death, Peter Parker these, like, special... Basically gives him, like, control of the company or something, which, I mean, Pepper, you know, his own wife, you know, didn't, you know, I was gonna say, the reason, like, his wife didn't hold on to the glasses till, like, he was, like, older or something like that. Like, again, you know, Quentin Beck says this in the movie, it's like, you know, he's a kid, he's, like, 16 years old and stuff like that. It's like, we're really gonna give, like, all, like, you know, this, like, advanced Stark, you know, technology to a 16-year-old kid. Like, what's he going to do with it? Obviously, I get he was supposed to be the next Stark, but then there's also Morgan, who is the next Stark. And I get, obviously, you know, she's young, stuff like that, but I always kind of thought that that was the direction that was going to go into, is then, you know, we're going to somehow hit, like, a, like, proverbial, like, time skip or something, and then we were just gonna, like, fast forward, and then, like, Morgan was gonna, like, take control of her father's company or something like that. I never really thought it'd be Peter, but of course, you know, Tony was supposed to be, like, the proverbial, like, Uncle Ben for Spider-Man, and that's still something that was, like, never, like, addressed in this version. Is Uncle Ben's never really a thing. I don't think Uncle Ben has ever been mentioned in these MCU Sony Spider-Man movies. It's kind of just Tony who's now, oh, dang it, who's kind of just taken the role as, like, Uncle Ben. And now that Uncle Ben is dead, or now that Tony's dead, he's kind of, like, fulfilled that Uncle Ben role. So it took 2 movies, MCU-wise, to get Peter Parker up to where Tobey Maguire was in, like, the first... in the first Spider-Man, as Peter Parker, that one. So, I don't know. Technically 3, if you include his appearance in Civil War, so it took 3 Spider-Man movies-ish. The only problem, and I also have a problem with this too, is I know, obviously, that, and this is, again, the Homecoming one, is it was supposed to be, you know, like, his first one, but it also felt very Iron Man 4, because it's like, well, you know, it's Vulture, he's trying to steal all of Tony's stuff, you know, I can't remember, but it was like all, you know, just like all stuff or whatever, which, by the way, is then just where, again, major spoilers here, again, this is spoilers, so Mysterio gets shot by his own drones, okay, and so just really quickly, before I even get into the rest of this stuff. So, Mysterio doesn't get to live, at least according to this. You know, of course, now that time travel's a thing in the MCU, nobody's really dead, okay? And pretty much anybody can, like, pick up, like, Thor's hammer or something like that. You know, they can time travel and basically, like, cure everybody, so no one's really dead. You know, they can easily, you know, warp back Chris Evans to come back to play Steve Rogers, and yeah, it's whatever. When you introduce time travel, so it's not just a straight up, you know, something less. It's just like, oh well, anybody can use time travel, you know. So it's like who who really cares about this? But anyway, especially now that everybody's like back. Oh no, what was that? What was that book? Okay, what was that? Dang it! I'm getting lucky with the books, but not with the mending. Okay. And we're gonna take a quick break. So yeah, just immediately, just right there was kind of like my big problem is, so Mysterio Quentin Beck doesn't make it through the movie, but Vulture Michael Keaton does. Which, by the way, I love Michael Keaton in that movie. Michael Keaton is a gem of an actor. You know, I really love Keaton's acting. Keaton is like just a top-notch actor. So I was really glad that he was in it. I also like Jake Gyllenhaal. Again, you know, don't get me wrong, Jake Gyllenhaal did an excellent performance as Quentin Beck Mysterio and stuff like that. I just, his character is pretty... Okay. I kind of, like, this is kind of like the problem now, I don't, not necessarily, but I feel like, for whatever reason, the MCU will never actually, like, be able to, quote-unquote, get, like, the comics, like, correctly into it. You know, everything's, like, based off of them, and that's great and stuff like that. But, you know, Mysterio, I think, was just supposed to, like... I can't remember what his entire backstory is, but I know that the powers are actually, like, his. Like, he can actually do, like, the illusion magic. He's the one who's, like, was responsible for killing, like, with helping Logan kill all the X-Men in Old Man Logan comics and stuff like that. It's because of Mysterio. Mysterio actually has, like, actual illusion, like, magic, basically, that fooled, you know, hello, Logan into killing all the X-Men because he thought that they were all, like, invaders, you know, coming to invade the house or whatever. Get rid of this. So, that's already kind of one thing that I kind of just thought about. But, so kind of just going through that. So the whole point of the movie is then, you know, so Fury and Hill, you know, they recruit Spider-Man so they can go help Mysterio kill all these elemental basic things. You know, earth, wind, fire, the band, essentially. And, like, water or something like that. You know, then it all changed when the Fire Nation attacked. I'm just kidding. Jeez. So then that's the whole point of the movie. But then you realize that, like, that Beckett was just trying to, like, basically act like Tony to get Peter to give him these, like, special glasses that Tony, again, really should have not given to Peter, like, immediately. Like, at least so soon. I don't know why Fury just had him lying around. He's like, well, you know, I need you to have these. You know, you're the next Iron Man. It's like, you could, like, wait a couple years, right? You know? But, yeah, anyway. That's just one thing. The next thing is, even though when they... Oh, cool. When they get the glasses, you know, so then you get control of all this, like, Stark stuff or whatever. So now, here's my one thing. So, Mysterio is using these drones as, like, illusion stuff, and then he has, like, a whole bunch of these people rig all this stuff or whatever, which I think is just already an enormous letdown. I liked the background that they gave. It's like, yes, you know, there's a multiverse. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then you realize pretty much almost immediately, it's like, they ain't gonna go for this. There's no way. And then it's like, oh, yeah, he's just a dude. He's not special in any way. It's like, you know, okay, so like the twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch and stuff like that. Obviously, they're not mutants. They were experimented on, like, by Stryker or something, whatever the MCU, like, equivalent of, like, Stryker is. So, I probably need to put this stuff away. Yeah, I'm just going to do that real quick. So, yeah, like, Stryker was already kind of, like, sort of, kind of a thing in the MCU. Again, I'm almost positive it's not Stryker. It's something else, and someone can feel free to correct me in the stream or the comments or whatever this comes out on. I can't think of his name. Anyway, oh, I need to return this book too. This is why this random hole's in here. It's pretty good. Smite 4 and all that. Wow. Okay, and then go back through here. Go back through here. All right. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So So Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, they're not mutants. They were like experimented on. Then they got the powers, I think, from the Tesseract or something like that, which I think already is like one of like it's one of the biggest like MacGuffins that I have. Like probably one of the biggest MacGuffins in the MCU that I just have a problem is the Tesseract is like responsible for like everything. You know, everybody wants the Tesseract. You know, Thanos wanted the Tesseract. Loki wanted the Tesseract. Captain Marvel gets her power because of the Tesseract. You know, the twins get the power because of the Tesseract. It's like, it's just enough with the Tesseract, you know? And hopefully now that, you know, the Infinity Saga is like all done, this is the end of Phase 3, that, you know, we can kind of like move on and hopefully like never like address the stones again. You know, at least until Guardians, because I know Adam Warlock has to be a thing. So I would hope they would kind of do something, because Adam Warlock and the Infinity Stones is like kind of like a big like plot point. I'm pretty sure in like his actual like backstory, which they'll probably ignore to make like Adam Warlock like the bad guy or something else, when he's like one of like the strongest, if not one of the strongest heroes in Marvel Comics and stuff like that. He was like a walking like Infinity Gauntlet, basically. So I was kind of bummed that Mysterio actually doesn't have real powers. Let's see what else. The visual effects, you know, Marvel always has pretty good, you know, visual effects and stuff like that. You know, everything was like breathtakingly like wonderful to see and everything like that. It was nice to see Happy Hogan and stuff like that. I kind of felt and I still guess that like Pepper's a thing and stuff like that, you know, but I would kind of feel that Happy would kind of be there a little bit more. I get, you know, that Peter's like important to Tony and stuff like that, but Tony also has a daughter now. You know, I don't know. It's a weird thing where it's like, you know, it'd be one thing if Tony didn't have a kid, and it's like, you know, he would kind of think of like Peter as like, oh, you know, you're kind of like, you know, the son that like, you know, I wish I could have had, which is still ironic because he only has one kid. But it's just like, you know, he has a kid, so it's like, I would have hoped he would have like planned something out like for Morgan or something like that, you know, to like take over the company from Pepper or something like that. I don't know. Let's see what else. Yeah, the glasses make no sense. Performance by everybody. Holland was good. He was a little bit quieter and stuff like that, but I think it was just he was kind of trying to play more of like the awkwardness and stuff like that, which I was kind of okay with. You know, he was a little bit quieter. He did have some moments that I felt were a little too, you know, whoa, slow down kind of thing, but I think for the most part it wasn't too bad. Jake Gyllenhaal was good. Happy Hogan was good. You know, Samuel L. Jackson was good. Zendaya was all right. You know, I've never really cared for like the romantic like plots they ever have in it. There's so many of like the romantic plots in the MCU that just get quickly like tossed out the window. Thor and Jane Foster from, you know, from the Thor movies and stuff like that. Trying to keep my my train of thought going in one place. Oh gosh, salmon. Yeah. Okay. And then you know, and then of course Banner and gosh, what's her name? Gosh, what's Bruce Banner's love interest? Dang it. Betty Ross. Yeah, there we go. You know, that's never been brought up again, you know, since the Incredible Hulk. You know, Thunderbolt Ross, you know, General Ross is, you know, still a thing, but like his daughter has not been mentioned since the movie that came out second, I believe, in core of the MCU, if Iron Man was first. Yeah. So I mean, you know, that's something that never gets brought up. It's, you know, Tony's is, you know, is like the only one, and like even then, that's still kind of like an on-off kind of thing, whatever. But yeah, it's basically Gyllenhaal got upset with, or Quentin Beck got upset with Tony because the visual technology that Tony had in Civil War basically he used for therapy. He goes, "Wow, man, this is pretty lame." He gives a lame acronym. He's like, "Man, I really hate Tony." And then now that Tony's dead, it's like, "Oh, well, now we can take over the company and like, you know, nuke everything from orbit." And so now here's the big thing. Here's the big thing that I actually like thought of when I was sat there. So they have like all these like, you know, like hologram producing drones and stuff like that. You know, it's great or whatever. Whatever happened to the Iron Legion like robots from Avengers 2? You know, with Age of Ultron. Whatever happened to those? Is there a reason why all these like hundreds of like suits that Tony eventually made like with the Iron Legion protocol that is like just never became a thing to like reprogram into these drones or whatever? Like he's got this big huge satellite and it's just full of like drones. Why wouldn't you do like Iron Man suits? You know? I don't get it. So that was kind of one thing that didn't make any sense. Again, you know, this is another freaking major spoiler, by the way. Just so you know, this is spoilers. I'm spoiling Spider-Man Far From Home, just so you guys know that. Anyway, I'll be totally honest. The only reason why I actually went to go see this movie, it's not because it's a Spider-Man movie. I was, you know, kind of just like reading up and see like what everybody thought about this. And everybody's like, "Oh gosh, you know, the J.K. Simmons cameo where he plays J. Jonah Jameson." I'm like, oh, from the same Raimi trilogy? It's like they actually got him like to like do this, and they're like, yeah, he's the very first non MCU character to appear in an MCU to like reprise his role. It's like, oh, I gotta see that, and it's like, and I probably could have easily like found that on YouTube, but I'm like, yeah, there's some other stuff. You know, it's a Spider movie. I went to go see the first one. Why not? You know, I'll see how it is. But that's really the only reason why I went there. The other thing, it was mainly about the end credit scene and stuff like that. We're going to get this one last bite in, and then we're done. Is the Skrull from Captain Marvel. Basically, they're the shapeshifters. It's two things that now that I think now that Infinity Stones are off the table, I think now that like Captain Marvel now is officially, I think kind of like the first-ish movie. That, I mean, obviously there's nothing really that confirms that it's the first one of Phase 4, but this is kind of like the direction that we have now is like the Skrull and stuff like that. Shapeshifters. You have shapeshifters and time travel. Nothing's gonna make sense anymore. Nothing. Not a single thing is gonna make sense anymore. And it was a very simple, just, you know, kind of like series on just like comic book movies and stuff like that, and then it is getting like crazy like complicated stuff like that, and I don't know. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, got that, which I don't want. I almost like, it's almost kind of weird if they could kind of just, if the MCU could just get away with just like, because magic, you know, I think, because there was I get, you know, they were kind of like fully honest. It's like, oh yeah, Mysterio, you know, he's kind of the hero, you know, he's like the next like Tony Stark-ish, but like mission with like Thor power, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, and that would have been cool, you know, because like Thor's is kind of magic, you know, he's about the closest thing you have to magic, you know, Loki, what Loki does is quote unquote magic. So why couldn't Mysterio actually have illusion magic, you know, instead of like this whole drone showdown, which, you know, again is more and more making Spider-Man basically be another Iron Man movie. I think it would have been really cool if, I don't know, they actually made a just regular old Spider-Man movie where he actually fights a magic like infused Mysterio. You know, with him actually using like the powers he was using against the so-called like elementals and stuff like that. You know, it's like, what if they actually like did that and stuff like that? It's also kind of weird because since the Skrulls like shapeshifters and they were like acting as Hill and Jackson Fury this whole time, you you know, they're, you know, because I guess Fury is with like the Skrull just parading around doing whatever, which I don't know why, because I thought, again, I haven't seen Captain Marvel, and I have like pretty much no desire to see Captain Marvel because I don't know. I hear it's kind of a really boring movie, so, and it didn't, and I didn't really need it so much for like the Endgame continuity, so it's just like, yeah, forget it, you know. But you know, so that's apparently what Fury's been doing. He's been praying about the Skrull and just left Skrull as to like impersonate them, but you know, the fact that, and I guess you can come up to the fact that Quentin Beck's kind of like nuts or whatever, but you know, the Skrull really do a good job of like impersonating Hill and Fury. So, you know, kudos to that. You know, it's really good, like convincing that, and then it's just there's too much like fake out stuff just going around. You know, is it, you know, is it illusion magic? Is it, you know, the holograms? Is it, you know, is it the Skrull? Is it this? Is it that? It's just like, it's so much like, you know, like fake out kind of stuff. And you really just kind of like lean back and you're like, so what was real? And, you know, then when they ask you know, with Quentin Beck was dead, it's like, that kind of sucks. Because, you know, obviously I know that the character Mysterio was always kind of like a villain, stuff like that. And they made, you know, the Vulture in the, you know, a villain. You know, he was absolutely a villain, but like, he wasn't like a bad villain, you know, like really in all fairness, like the Vulture, Michael Keaton's character was, yeah, you know, like, you know, he's a villain, but he was also trying to like do in his mind what he thought was right. You know, he's got to take care of his family, you know, he's kind of have to do his thing, you know. It's not something, you know, that he wants to do. It's just what Stark dealt to him, which it's just something I was never surprised that that Quentin Beck and like his team really just never got around to. It's just trying to like pass him off as like a legitimate like superhero, you know, like actually figure out a way how to use, you know, his illusion technology, you know, minus the drones and stuff like that, as, you know, kind of like real stuff, like make it, you know, like a real like sort of like weapon or whatever. Then he can actually pass himself off as like a legitimate superhero and stuff like that. But they're like, nah, he's just he's obsessed with Stark Tech. Oh, and then that's what we're gonna go with. It's just, again, you know, the performance, everything, great, loved it. It was awesome. It's just I wish they actually did just make an actual Spider-Man movie. I wish. Let's see. I don't know if there's anything else that's worth mentioning. Ooh. No, thank you. What else? What else? Oh my gosh, I'm getting all these books. I swear, I'm getting all these books. I'm just... who cares about this? All right. I've never had this much luck so far. This is crazy. Well, we'll put that there. Put the saddle back down. We'll just keep it going. It's a small break. Put those there. Put that there. There we go. All right, we got enough saddles to last me like till next year, essentially. Jeez. Again, we're doing spoilers. God, I cannot express this enough that we're doing spoilers. What else? I really don't know. There's really like much else that I really wanted to like talk about. We're getting all this stuff now. Yay! No, yeah, I don't know. If I probably had to rate this one, you know, if I liked it more or less than the first one. Kind of interesting. I'd probably say I'd like... Okay. This is where things are going to get a little tricky. In terms of a quote-unquote Spider-Man movie, I would probably prefer this one, The Far From Home, over Homecoming. In terms of MCU movie, though, you know, Tony's Tony, you know. I think besides Chris Hemsworth, I think Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark was, I think, probably, like, my favorite in, like, the MCU. You know, Chris Rogers, you know, he's okay, but it's... There are, like, some limits with always being, like, the good, sparkling, you know, knight in shining armor kind of thing. It's the fact that it's just, you gotta introduce some kind of proverbial, like, weakness for it, and I get, you know, that his was kind of like the, like, unwavering, like, loyalty towards, like, all of his friends and, like, the good of his country and stuff like that, you know, because he does make all the heroic sacrifices, and in the end, you know, he, you know, decides that he wants to spend it with Peggy or something like that, which is still never really clear about what's what. If you ask me, what I've always kind of thought the reason was, is there's still two Steve Rogers in the same universe. I think it's kind of the weird scenario where, like, Steve Rogers is, there's one Steve Rogers that's still in the ice that comes out and, like, does all the other things, and then there's the other Steve Rogers that, like, I think, you know, when she mentions, like, her husband or whatever, you know, in whatever that whatever movie that was or whatever, when that's all a thing, is I think that is also Steve Rogers. But for some reason, it's just never put two and two together or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. But I think that's because, you know, again, you introduce time travel. You know, you put your own, you know, cargo in the ship for that. So, oh gosh. There we go. Yo, like, Squid, you want to, like, just leave? Go away. Seriously. Okay. We good now? Okay. Yeah, but yeah, anyway, it's like, in terms of, like, the Spider movie, I think this one kind of did a better job as a... Whoa. Dang, that's not bad, except for the curse part. Yeah, in terms of Spider-Man, I feel like this is probably a little bit more like Spider-Man. It's just, I know they always have to, like, keep everything, like, together in for, like, continuity's sake and stuff like that, so, you know, some person from Marvel's got to be there, you know, so, of course, Fury and Hill are probably, I think, like, the easiest, like, ones to go with. You know, Thor's gonna have to have, like, a good reason, other than the fact that it's just an actual Thor movie or an Avengers movie. Oh, here we go. So, you know, Thor's kind of hard to place, you know, Steve was kind of hard to place, you know, same thing, it had to be, like, you know, like Captain America movie, or it had to be an Avengers movie or something like that, you know, it was really hard to, like, put it in something else. But yeah, but in terms of, like, an MCU movie, Homecoming was better. In terms of Spider movie, I kind of like this one a little bit better. It was definitely a little bit more Spider-Man-ish, I guess. It's just, I really wish it could actually make it a actual, like, Spider-Man movie. I really wish it could have just, like, actually, like, you know, just give Mysterio, like, his magic. Give him, like, the actual things that, like, Stanley and, I think it's Steve Ditko that helped make the Spider-Man comics, stuff like that. You know, if they could actually just, like, make it, like, real and stuff like that, you know. If it had been like that, I think, you know, the whole Spider-Man movie, like, as a whole, like, would have, like, made more sense. And, you know, and of course, and that's, like, the one thing that, of course, the original Sam Raimi ones, you know, totally got away with, is they never really had a bad guy with, quote-unquote, magic. You know, throughout all the villains in the Sam Raimi trilogy, it's, you know, the Green Goblin, super genius. Doc Ock, you know, super genius. Then you get the Sandman, you know, that was, I think, like just like a thing like he got experimented on, and then that's what turned him into insane. And then Venom, which was just an alien symbiote that was just never really explained. So, yeah, that's kind of it, you know. So it never really had that prompt. But then, you know, you put a character in like Mysterio, and it's like, yes, this is, you know, the Magic Mysterio and stuff like that, and you know, he's trying to play the hero and stuff like that. It honestly would have made more sense is if as he was Mysterio, if he had all the magic power stuff like that, is in his mind he's thinking, I am the hero that like this, you know, this world needs. I don't need to like fake it. Like if the elementals were actually like real, like not stuff like that. If he actually could pass that like stuff off as like if they actually were real, you know, real threats, because you know they could have probably easily gotten away with it with how much stuff was in the MCU. You know, we have aliens, we get all this stuff, we got magic, you know, the stones or whatever. If the elements were actually like real and like his backstory was actually real, where it's like, oh, you know, the elementals actually really did like wreck my home world, blah 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 blah, whatever. And it's like, okay, like his actual like multiverse like story actually would have been like 1,000 times more interesting. And then they're like, nah, just kidding. That would have been like way too hard to like flesh out. It's like, no, like that's, you know, you could actually get away with like the whole multiverse thing and stuff like that. And I get, you know, alternate timelines and all this other stuff that Endgame has created, but it's like still. So the characterization they took Mysterio, oh gosh, it's a bow. Don't like. Gyllenhaal's performance as Mysterio, good. Everybody else was pretty good. The one person, this is also, I suppose, like the one person that I just don't really quite understand why he keeps being in the movies, is the guy who plays Flash Thomas. You know, he's supposed to be kind of like this bully to Peter, like in the comics, and he was kind of one to Peter in the first one. I don't think he's in the other ones. So why does this guy keep coming back around? You know, if the whole thing was like to like torment Peter, he's not really doing much of it. You know, he got in the first one. It's like, okay, great. You know, you got your one time, and then, you know, it's like, okay, now that's like class trips like that. It's like, you know, it also kind of, I don't know, it might have been a little bit interesting if, I can't think of her name there, but like the past love entrance in the other movie, you know, Michael Keaton's character's daughter or whatever, that would have been interesting if she was in like that movie too, and to see like, well, where could have that gone now that like the Vulture's in prison. There's also no lead up to see if the Sinister Six were going to become a thing. You know, is Doc Ock going to be a thing? Again, the only, you know, confirmed thing we have is, you know, the J. Jonah Jameson from the Sam Raimi trilogy with J.K. Simmons, and now it's the first non-MCU character to replace his role for an MCU movie, which again was great, top notch. But now see again. Oh, dang it. You know, because then it actually would have been a really funny twist is if Mysterio was like, you know, actually trying to play a quote-unquote hero, you know, with like the elemental stuff like that, and then it's like, oh, well, you know, you could have made it like so, you know, like the elementals were like, you know, they're only doing this kind of thing because, you know, that's what they are and stuff like that, or, you know, because like Mysterio's like, you know, this crazy lunatic, and like he's been doing this kind of stuff. So like the elementals are bad, but like Mysterio's like, you know, like worse, stuff like that. So it's like you need like Mysterio to help defeat the elementals, and then you need to defeat a Mysterio. You know, you could have done like a classic, you know, the good guy teams up with like the villain, kind of like in the X-Men movies, and then it's like, okay, you know, we got to put our differences, you know, aside because now we're still, you know, rivals and stuff like that. And then they could have gone that way with the movie, and it would have been like 10 times better, but it's like, nah, we're gonna just settle this for just, you know, typical MCU movie. Which, I mean, you know, it's fine. It's just, it's not, it's an MCU movie, you know, first things first, and it's then a, you know, a Spider-Man movie, I guess, later. Seriously, like, go away. I swear, you come back up, you're getting an arrow. Just saying that right now, dude. give it one more time to surface, and you're getting the arrow. So if I had to maybe give this a rating, which I don't ever really do with these kind of movies like that. Of course, you know, comparing it to like the rest of the Spider-Man movies like as a whole. If I had to like place it by the way, you know, considering now that like you know, that Tom Holland's had at least like 3 movies stuff like that. So I feel like this is pretty fair. Maguire still like on top, pretty much best Spider-Man, best Peter Parker, you know, best kind there was. Then I'd probably say second would be like Drake Bell. I think Drake Bell, like the writing they got for like Drake Bell, like in the animated like TV series or stuff like that, you know, that was pretty good because again, he's supposed to be like quick wit, you know, sharp wit, stuff like that. That's the way like he was kind of supposed to be. That's kind of what, you know, it kind of should have been like. But instead, it's like, no, that's fine, whatever. Then Chris Pine as the Ultimate Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse movie from Sony. Which by the way is an incredible movie. I kind of felt bad that Chris Pine's character didn't make it because I thought he did a wonderful job as the Ultimate Spider-Man, as you know, the original Peter Parker, stuff like that. I thought that was great. Then Tom Holland, then Andrew Garfield, and then everybody else. I don't know. It's again, like visually, you know, Andrew Garfield's like Spider-Man, like visually looks good. It's just acting. So yeah, I don't really think there's much else. So other than the rating that I wanted to give, say maybe like 6.5, maybe 7 out of 10. Like I said, you know, typical, you know, Marvel movie. You know, again, you know, I like the Marvel movies. You know, it was good. It was a fine movie. I didn't really have any, you know, major critiques except for like Mysterio's like storyline and stuff like that. I felt that was kind of a waste. But since it was an MCU movie and everything all has to like interconnect to make sense, that's fine. It gets the pass, and I totally get that. You know, it's just as an MCU movie, like this is where I'm gonna say, if it was an MCU movie, this is where it's gonna get like the 7 out of 10. As a Spider-Man movie, if it was a Spider-Man movie, I give it like 4 or 5, because that Mysterio's plot and stuff like that. The reason why I think there is because again, everything was studied, like the actual like just effects. You know, J.K. Simmons' Joe Jane Jameson. You know, that was all fine, and have, you know, that was like probably the best part of it was just the effects. You know, the actual like illusion, like technology and stuff like that. That was great. Loved it. You know, the pace flowed good. You know, there was not really a whole bunch of super stumbling blocks and stuff like that. There wasn't, you know, the heavy like romance and stuff like that I was like, you know, kind of expecting when, you know, I knew that like everybody was saying, you know, I was like, oh yeah, Tom Holland's and Zendaya's performances, you know, is MJ, and you know, stuff like that. It's like, I really hope we don't get into this, but thankfully you never really got into it, which was good, solid. It's just, I don't care about that because, you know, the MCU has shown that you really shouldn't care about that kind of stuff compared with everybody else in it. You know, I'd be really surprised in the next like Doctor Strange movie if, you know, if that's gonna be a thing. If the next like Black Panther movie that's gonna be a thing with their love interests, you know, who knows? Because it's the MCU. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much where I'm good with. Okay. I totally did not see that book. Protection 3, Smite 4. It's got Smite, whatever. Whatever. Because it'll give me Smite 5. Alright. Other. That. Do I actually have the Smite books in here? I do! But that actually has like the living stuff like that, which is kind of important. So we'll just put that in here. Up. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And so now that it's night, I feel like we're just gonna quickly maybe see if we can find another villager and stuff like that. I think I'm good with the Spider-Man stuff like that now. So now that we're towards the end of the stream, I think I'm good. I think I got it all in my system. And again, don't get me wrong, you know, solid movie. You know, I definitely recommend you guys go see it if you guys, you know, like the MCU and the Spider-Man movie stuff like that. It's just, it's not how I would have wanted the movie to go. We'll just say that and leave it leave it at that. Hello. Maybe we can grab some zombie flesh and trade away some of this with the other villagers. Get some more emeralds. I have over a stack now, so if you ever get to that point where you know we get that that villager who will give me the mending, I am going to buy the snot out of it. Let's see if we get to it. No. I want nothing to do with that. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, I missed. Everything's still fine. Helmet's gonna need to get replaced soon. I was kind of thinking really at this point, I really should just. I don't know if I want to just wear my actual helmet that I have from the end and just keep the iron boots until I get, to a different point. It's just, I don't want to like wear it out until I just get the mending. I would rather just Ow. Oh, hey guys. Oh. Okay. I'd rather just get the mending for my my helmet and just leave it at that. Nope, see, we're fine. Because if I get the mending for the helmet, then I could really care less about what happens to this helmet then. I just need one mending. One mending. And then probably the next thing I would want to do is then get the boots and then kind of go more towards like the armor and stuff like that. Oop. Dang it. Alright. We're gonna have to fix that hole. I think we're okay. Oh man, I took some hits. Almost like I got horns. So we'll just throw that out. It's freaking bones. Who cares about the bones? The only thing we're going to do is we can snipe away that witch. The other skeleton. Be pretty happy with that. You just clearly bounced off. There we go. Okay. Oh, he actually dropped his enchanted bow. Oh, it's power 1. Lame. Yeah, you want to, like, back off? There we go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. You have a bow. I can see your bow. I don't want to mess with that. Alright. Here's some sand. Stupid creepers. Just wrecking up my lawn. Take this stuff down, and then this should be good. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. All right, moving on. Moving on. And of course, then kind of think once it okay. Oh, that was him. I'm like, where did that arrow come from? I think when it hits morning, if I don't find anything, then I think we're just gonna call it a stream there. I got my movie review out of the way, so I feel pretty good. No, none of it's gonna make sense. I feel like when I watch this back, so. Oh, you're gonna hurt to kill. Oh gosh. Oh. Well, called it. Oh, now you die. There we go. Jeez. Took like 3 arrows. Yeah, I knew the arm was gonna take a hit. I knew it was gonna take a hit. There's no way it couldn't take a... Hi, man. What's up, dude? Yeah, okay, good. Armor's healed. That didn't take long. Almost fell in that hole again. Well, since it's already hitting 9, I don't think we're gonna get anything today. I just realized this is gonna be a kind of a hard video to highlight because essentially nothing happened. I got some books. Nothing good though. Got my levels up, you know, that's always good. Boink. And here's some husks. No, don't touch me. No touch, bad touch. Oh, okay, good. Alright, everything's all healed. Yay! Fantastic. So thank you everybody for at least staying along to listen to that movie rant. I don't even really want to call it a rant. It's just like basically kind of just a movie discussion, really. It wasn't bad, but it's definitely in that category. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it again if it's on, but it's not like, oh man, you know, like you want to go watch like Spider-Man like Far From Home. It's like, yeah. That's kind of like really just like the best way I can like describe it. Like if I ever want to see it, just I could watch it. It's like, man, you know, it's like, what do you want to watch? It's like, well, we could watch Spider-Man. It's like, it's. I don't know, I feel like it's probably one of those. At least it's one of the most. At least to me. Keep in mind, this is just me and my stupid opinion stuff like that. It's not gonna have a lot of watchability for me. You know, it's again, you know, I have the first two Spider-Man ones, which are just great standalone movies. Which again, that's kind of now again, the problem that you have with it is it's like, you know, at least with Spider-Man, you know, the like Sam Raimi ones, even though it was all kind of like interconnected and like, you know, everything kind of like made sense and all that, they all stood alone. You could just watch like the first two, pretend that they're on, which is kind of what we all do, and just call it good. You know, like that's like you didn't need to like have to like be aware of like the entire existence of like the MCU, why, who's here, and what's there. Like if you saw, like, say you're a big fan of Spider-Man or something like that, you watch like Spider-Man Home, you have no prior knowledge to the MCU, you know, you just want to watch Spider-Man movies. You could show somebody this, and it's like, well, who's that? Oh, that's Tony. Who's Tony Stark? And it's like, you gotta basically like explain like the whole MCU just so you watch a Spider-Man movie. It's like you can watch like the Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man movies, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's Spider-Man. You know, that's this character, and it's all Spider-Man centric universe, stuff like that. Again, going back to what I said, it's an MCU movie, you know, 6.5, you know, 6, 7 out of 10, something like that, whatever. Oh, I actually have a lot of stuff. As a Spider-Man movie, nah. And Spider-Man movie, nah. No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, give me that. Give me that. Because this all goes here. That goes there. So, that's, I wasn't trying to talk more on Spider-Man movie. I was supposed to stop. Thank you, sir. So, well, I think that's gonna do it for today. Yeah, get some more cows. Getting low on the steak again. See, we actually have money. Actually, quite a bit of money. And put that back here. Go get some wheat, and then we're gonna call it an episode. Oh, I thought I broke some carrots. I'm like, don't really want to do that. Okay. And now we're gonna make you guys all feel good. Alright, cow to cow. I wonder how this would work. I'm actually kind of okay with this because I'm eventually gonna need all the other colors of the sheep. So 1, 2, 3. All right, just like that. All right, yeah, we're all good. Okay. I need the eggs. I'll hold them to the wheat. I'll just put the rest there in the wheat bin. And I think we're gonna call it an episode, ladies and gentlemen. You know, trying to get that mending. You know, that's we got some stuff. We got some good stuff. We got some good books, stuff like that. Not exactly what we're looking for, but that's gonna do it for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Minecraft Hardcore Survival Challenge in Minecraft Xbox One edition of Minecraft. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.